What if I told you that one man's stock portfolio is worth more than the entire GDP of some countries? Warren Buffett, the Oracle of Omaha, a man who turned $10,000 in the 1950s into one of the largest investment empires on the planet. And today, we're pulling back the curtain on Berkshire Hathaway's top 10 stock holdings, based on the most recent SEC 13F filing from Q4 2025, to show you exactly where Buffett and now his successor Greg Abel are betting hundreds of billions of dollars. Whether you're a seasoned investor or just starting out, understanding what Berkshire owns, and why, is one of the best free master classes in value investing you'll ever get. So let's count them down. From number 10 all the way to the giant at the top. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. We break down the biggest names and moves in the investing world every week. Let's get into it. Before we dive into the holdings, a quick 30-second primer for anyone who needs it. Berkshire Hathaway is a massive conglomerate headquartered in Omaha, Nebraska. It's run for decades by Warren Buffett, widely considered the greatest investor of all time, and now transitioning under new CEO Greg Abel. As of the latest Q4 2025 13F filing, Berkshire's disclosed portfolio is worth a staggering $274 billion across 42 distinct securities. And here's the wild part. The top 10 stocks alone make up roughly 90% of that entire portfolio. That's not a typo. Buffett is famously concentrated. He bets big on companies he truly understands. Alright, let's count them down. Coming in at number 10 is Occidental Petroleum, ticker OXY, and this one has been a headline maker. As of the end of 2025, Berkshire's position in Occidental was worth approximately $19.84 billion, representing around 7.2% of the fund. Wait, actually, let me clarify the ranking. Different filings show some variation based on price movements, but Occidental has been a major bet. Buffett started buying OXY aggressively in 2022, and Berkshire now owns well over 20% of the entire company. Why OXY? It's an energy play, oil and gas. Buffett has been bullish on American energy production and sees Occidental as well managed with strong free cash flow. He even received regulatory approval to potentially buy up to 50% of the company someday. This is a long-term conviction bet, not a quick trade. Number 9 is a name that flew under the radar for a while, Chubb Limited, ticker CB. This one's interesting because Berkshire quietly built this position before it was even publicly disclosed. Berkshire has continued to add to its stake in Chubb, which is now the holding company's 8th or 9th largest position depending on the quarter. Chubb is a global insurance giant, property, casualty, and specialty coverage. And here's the key, Buffett loves insurance. It's not just about the profits. Insurance companies generate what's called float. That's money from premiums that hasn't been paid out yet as claims. Berkshire invests that float to generate enormous returns. Chubb is a natural fit. Number 8 is one of Buffett's more complicated relationships, Kraft Heinz, ticker KHC. Kraft Heinz is a major packaged foods producer, home to brands like Heinz ketchup and Kraft cheese, and Berkshire's stake has been valued at around $9.9 billion. Now, Buffett has publicly admitted that Berkshire overpaid for Kraft Heinz back in 2015. The company has faced headwinds from changing consumer tastes, inflationary pressures, and declining volumes. It's been a rare misstep for the Oracle. But he's held on. Why? Brands. Deep, iconic brands with loyal customers. Buffett still believes in the long-term power of the Kraft Heinz portfolio, even if the short-term story has been bumpy. Lesson here, even the best investors have holdings that underperform. What matters is the overall portfolio. Number 7, and this one is a gem that doesn't get enough attention, Moody's Corporation, ticker MCO. Berkshire's position in Moody's was worth approximately $12.60 billion as of end of 2025, representing 4.6% of the portfolio. Moody's is a credit rating agency. They're essentially the gatekeepers of the bond market. Corporations and governments pay Moody's to rate their debt. And here's the beauty of the business model: it's an oligopoly. There are really only 3 major credit rating agencies in the world. Moody's has massive pricing power and almost zero meaningful competition. Berkshire has held Moody's for decades. It's a textbook Buffett mode business: durable competitive advantages, recurring revenue, and limited capital requirements. And the returns have been extraordinary. Number 6. Another energy giant, Chevron Corporation, ticker Chevron. Berkshire boosted its biggest bet in the energy sector in Q4, increasing its stake in Chevron by almost 7%, or more than 8 million shares. Berkshire now owns more than 130 million shares of Chevron, worth $19.8 billion as of end of Q4. Chevron is one of the world's largest integrated energy companies: oil, natural gas, refining, chemicals. Buffett added Chevron heavily in 2022 and has continued to hold it as a major position. The thesis here is straightforward: energy is foundational to the global economy. Even as renewables grow, oil and gas will remain critical for decades. Chevron's scale, its balance sheet strength, and its dividend track record make it exactly the kind of company Berkshire likes to own. Now we're entering legendary territory. Number 5, Coca-Cola, ticker KO. This is perhaps the most famous Buffett holding of all time. Berkshire started buying Coke back in 1988. That's nearly 40 years ago. And they've never sold a single share. As of Q4 2025, Coca-Cola represents about 10.2% of Berkshire's portfolio. Value Cider. As of the end of Q4 2025, Berkshire owned 9.3% of Coca-Cola's outstanding shares. Why does Buffett love Coke so much? One word: moat. Coca-Cola is perhaps the most recognized brand on the entire planet. It operates in over 200 countries. It generates enormous free cash flow. And it pays a growing dividend, which Berkshire has collected for decades. Buffett has said Coca-Cola exemplifies everything he looks for in a business: predictable earnings, pricing power, and an almost unshakable global brand. It's not going to 10x, but it's not going anywhere either. Number 4, and this one shows Buffett's deep love affair with the financial sector, Bank of America, ticker BAC. Berkshire's stake in Bank of America was worth approximately $28.45 billion as of end of 2025, representing about 10% of the fund. Now, interestingly, Berkshire actually trimmed its Bank of America position significantly through 2024, selling tens of billions of dollars worth of shares. It was one of the biggest portfolio moves Buffett made in years. But it remains a massive top 5 holding. Why B of A? It's the second largest bank in the United States. In a rising interest rate environment, banks like B of A benefit directly. Higher rates mean more net interest income. Buffett also has a long history of investing in financials during times of stress and coming out extraordinarily well. This is a patient, long-term bet on the American banking system. Number 3, and this one is one of Buffett's oldest and most profitable love stories: American Express, ticker American Express. American Express is Berkshire's second largest holding by value, with a position worth approximately $56.09 billion, representing 21% of the entire fund. Berkshire originally bought American Express back in the 1960s, during a crisis. And they've held on ever since. What makes Amex special? Its customer base. American Express caters primarily to high-income consumers and businesses. These customers spend more, default less, and stay loyal. Amex isn't just a credit card, it's a lifestyle brand with premium positioning that allows it to charge merchants and cardholders higher fees than competitors. The cost basis on this position is so low that the dividends alone are generating a massive annual return on Berkshire's original investment. It's a masterclass in the power of long-term compounding. Hold on, before we get to number 1, we need to talk about something that doesn't show up in a 13F filing, but is arguably Berkshire's most important position right now: cash. Specifically, Treasury bills. Berkshire Hathaway is currently sitting on an absolutely jaw-dropping cash pile. As of recent reports, Berkshire holds over $334 billion in cash and short-term treasury bills. That's more cash than most countries' entire GDP. Buffett has been building this cash pile for years, selling stocks and not finding deals that meet his criteria. Some see it as caution. Others see it as dry powder, ready to deploy when the right opportunity comes. Greg Abel, as the new CEO, now inherits this enormous war chest. What he does with it will define the next chapter of Berkshire Hathaway. And finally, number 1. The undisputed king of the Berkshire portfolio, Apple, ticker Apple. Apple is Berkshire's largest stock holding by a significant margin, with a position worth approximately $61.96 billion, representing 23% of the entire portfolio as of Q4 2025. Now, this number was actually much higher. At its peak, Apple was worth nearly $175 billion in Berkshire's portfolio. Buffett trimmed the position significantly in 2024, but Apple remains far and away the single biggest stock bet. Why Apple? Buffett has called Apple one of the best businesses in the world. Think about it. Apple has over 2 billion active devices. Its ecosystem, iPhone, Mac, iPad, App Store, Apple Pay, iCloud, creates an almost unbreakable lock-in effect. Once you're in Apple's ecosystem, leaving is painful. That's pricing power. That's a moat. Buffett has also framed Apple not as a tech company, but as a consumer products company, one with extraordinary brand loyalty and a customer base that upgrades their devices like clockwork. So there you have it, Berkshire Hathaway's top 10 holdings, straight from the Q4 2025 SEC filing. Here's the big takeaway. Buffett's portfolio is a masterclass in conviction. He doesn't diversify for the sake of diversifying. He finds businesses with durable competitive advantages, moats, strong management, and predictable earnings. Then he holds them. Sometimes for decades. With a 20-quarter average holding period and a portfolio turnover of under 5%, Berkshire is the ultimate example of patient, long-term investing. Value Sense blog. If you found this video valuable, smash that like button. It really helps the channel. Drop a comment below. Which of these 10 holdings surprises you the most? And subscribe so you don't miss our next deep dive. Until next time, invest wisely.